Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Howdy channel for a review of No Safe Spaces, the production by Dennis Prager and Adam Carolla. Yes, that Dennis Prager, and yeah, that Adam Carolla. Go figure. They spend a lot of time in the movie discussing how they are definitely the odd couple coming together for this. Okay, so I know I'm coming to this late, but I just finally found it. The documentary itself. I knew of it, but I didn't have access to it, so I finally got access to it and got to watch it. I'm going to do this review based on the concept that you already know what it's all about, that it's the snowflake phenomenon in colleges, the free speech being crushed within academia, and now in social media. Because this came out last year, I guess? That's what it said on the date, but I don't remember it being that old. But anyway, so it's definitely before Twitter and Facebook and everybody just started, because this is just a couple weeks ago, saying, oh, we're not going to cover New York Post stories. They do allude in the production to it coming, and now it's here, which they definitely were like, yeah, this is definitely going to happen. There's nothing to stop it, so of course it's going to happen. We're just making this video to make you aware, and then at the end they say, well, what can we do to resolve it? It's like, you just have to speak up. You've got to have the courage to do it. Now, I take odds with what Dennis Prager defines as courage. He says, you have to be courageous and speak out regardless of the consequences, because that's what courage is. And I'm like, when he says to not be afraid, that was my issue. Because as far as I know, and this completely disagrees with Mr. Prager, which is, courage is being afraid and doing it anyways. That's my understanding of courage. He's like, no, you have to overcome your fear. I'm like, I guess it depends on how you define overcome your fear. But anyway, the point being that this video, the documentary, it really works because it reaches out to comedians. It reaches out to, they have players. They play videos of Obama, Van Jones, seriously far left people that are saying, whoa, hit the brakes on this crushing of free speech. It's just not going to work. And yet it is, of course, their side, and they're very well aware that it's their side that is doing it. And Prager interviews several prominent lefties who are like terrified of what's going on, because as they point out in the documentary, over again and over again, America's kind of the only place to ever do freedom of speech. But what they don't really get at directly, I think on purpose, is it's already gone. How do we get it back? And they show it, but they don't really frame it in that context. It's like, no, it's actually gone. How do we get it back? And as stated earlier, now that Facebook and Twitter have already taken their measures to crush the New York Post, apparently the newspaper started by Alexander Hamilton. Who knew? And so it has gotten farther. It has gotten worse. And the one thing that I was thinking is like, okay, they're showing all these horrible things taking place on campus. I'm like, it's kind of quieted down. And I'm like, oh, that's right. We've been locked down since last March. That's why it's quieted down on the campuses. And then, of course, the next thought to go through my mind was, oh, it quieted down on the campuses, but you have Portland, Seattle, Atlanta. I feel like I'm singing a song by Atlanta, Georgia, PA. All of those major cities, and some minor ones that just never got the press, have been destroyed by Black Lives Matter activist, Antifa activist, all these activists that are acting in destructive manners. They're not just destroying buildings. When those Black Lives Matter people get in the people's faces at restaurants while they're driving their cars, and they get in, and the BLM get in the street, and they stop the cars, and they scream at them, say Black Lives Matter, raise your hand, Black Lives Matter. It's like Jordan Peterson says in the documentary, where they've moved from saying you can't say this to adding, and now you will say this. So it's not just shut up, it's shut up, oh, and by the way, repeat after me. And there's the contradiction all the way through that. They talk so often in the documentary about how the people in college are so young and everything. And even one of the professors says, they're 18, they're adults. Oh, but they're very, very young adults. We've extended, first of all, America invented adolescence in the 1950s. If you go before the 1950s, you had all of the coming of age things at 12. 12 was pretty much the worldwide standard for you're a man, you're a woman, you're 12. And then the 1950s invented the beboppers and all that other stuff. And now we've taken adolescence from going all the way up to 17 and 19, with 19 being the Vietnam War age of drafts and deaths. Now we have people that are acting like children into their 50s. Having a childlike spirit is a beautiful thing. But if it's not backed up in adulthood with adult pursuits and actions of responsibility, then it's, to borrow the term of the show, arrested development. And that's not good. Keeping a childlike spirit is wonderful. Most religions preach it. But you still need to stand up and get things done. Pay the bills, get the food, get the shelter, make more babies that you take care of. That's not happening right now. That is definitely not happening. So while the documentary video shows the wide spectrum, and to its credit, reaches out to comedians and actors and politicians of all different stripes, so that it becomes accessible for everybody to agree, wow, this is kind of like, I don't want to say dangerous, because it's not a debate if it's dangerous. It's worth considering, because all you guys out there that want you to shut up, but not you to shut up, that leads to very dark places that the world has known forever, and America was the escape from, and you're ending it. And you're ending it right now. And we're on the edge of the election. If Biden wins, all of this stuff goes away. They win. Biden is on the side of crushing free speech. That's not a secret. Those Antifa and BLM people are not out there voting for Trump. They're not holding MAGA signs. Does that mean they'll vote for Biden? They have a far greater chance of voting for Biden than they do of voting for Trump. So if Biden wins, and if you're watching this after Biden wins, if he does, enjoy it while you can, because it's probably going to get yanked. They've already pulled so many channels on YouTube, it's not funny. So, in conclusion, this is a great video because it's accessible to everybody, regardless of political stance. Even if you're far lefty and you want to get rid of speech, you can watch it and go, yeah, they should tear down more. Okay. But because of the guest roster, it really does fit so many audiences. And I compliment them for that. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future. I got a couple more conservative reviews and then some more Christmas reviews. And you're like, hey, is this a review channel or a political channel? It's both. I do the reviews because at times like this, when we're so close to the election that nobody knows anything, how am I supposed to make a video on that? I'm not Tim Pool. I can't just go on there and say what I want to say and have anybody care about it. He's got 85,000 views in an hour and a half with his audience just rambling about whatever he wants to because he built that. I have not built that, so I can't do that. So I need to fill the time with stuff that I think will be valuable to viewers on YouTube. So I do the reviews and of the stuff that interests me and that I can put my passion behind, because I can't put passion behind hey, we're in a totally deadlocked election and it's deadlocked, and I've already done the review of why Trump's going to win and why Trump's going to lose. Trump's going to win because all of the popular support and medium says he's going to win because get woke does equal get broke. And here it is. The Democrat Party is the founders of get woke. So of course, according to popular sentiment, getting woke equals getting broke, and the Dems will lose huge. We're talking Brexit levels huge. But then you have the other side, which is all the polls say is going to win, and the polls are popular. How come you're not counting them? It's like, it's just maddening, and nobody knows. So I'm not going to do a video on it. Wait a minute, didn't I just do a video on it? No, this is a video of no safe spaces, which you should watch if you want to expand your knowledge of what's going on in the college campuses, and if you want to share it with other people, and not just college campuses anymore, but now explains why Facebook, Twitter, et al. Are doing the lockdowns, not just on the cootie, not just on the cootie language, which is why I still have to say cootie instead of the other word, so they don't get that dumb banner underneath my video, and blocked from any more restrictions of views that I already get. That's why you want to be able to see this video. And with that, we say thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the future.